I had a wedding. I did knocking, engagement, and wedding. So I was supposed to have a full-term baby. And that is what God gave me. A tiny 1.6. Children are born 3.5 kilos, 4 kilos, and mine is 1.6. My wife was crying, carrying our small baby. Suffering.
Hey Jazri family, today we are talking about this pastor who went through a rough patch as a first-time father when he had his first and second child. This testimony is mainly to encourage you never to give up and always believe that there is nothing impossible with God. Please don't forget to like, to share, and to comment.
My wife got pregnant with our first child. I was so excited. This is my firstborn, whatever. And then 6 months, first, second, third. By the third week, my wife went into labor. Hey, I said, honey, but I thought they say it's 9 months. Yes. So why are you in labor? So we took her to the hospital before we realized she had delivered a baby. When I saw the baby, hey, an anointed man of God, preacher. My baby was like a frog, small like this. My baby was weighing 1.6 kilos.
Now, 1.6 kilos is like 3.5 pounds. This is the first time this pastor is even seeing a premature baby. So you can imagine his shock as a first-time father.
And you know the painful part? Chapa, do you know the painful part? The painful part was that when I was walking from the ward where my wife was to the incubator, I was walking past young girls who have delivered twins, triplets. They didn't have wedding, food term. And I, the anointed man of God, ordained with a collar. My baby is 6 months, 3 weeks, 1.6 kilos. And then, because I was a young guy and I've never seen a preterm baby before, when I went, there was an incubator and they have covered it with some blanket. Then they removed it to expose my baby. When I saw my baby, I said, hey. The doctor could see the shock on my face. So he said, oh, Reverend, don't worry, the baby will be fine. I said, how can he be fine? So when I went down, my wife said, how is the baby? I said, God will give us another baby. God will give us another baby. Because this one is so bad, very small. When I went home, my mother said, so how is she? I said, she's fine. How is the baby? I said, Ma, my wife has delivered something. It's not a baby. It's like an animal. Yeah. Have you seen a 6-month-old baby? It's like an animal. Very small, very tiny, with tubes. Oh no, this one cannot be my baby. I'm a prayerful man of God. Anointed, ordained, with clerical. I had a wedding. I did knocking, engagement, and wedding. So I was supposed to have a full-term baby. And that is what God gave me. A tiny 1.6. Children are born 3.5 kilos, 4 kilos, and mine is 1.6. My mother, oh, I love my mother. She did her best. After 4 months, the baby was in the incubator for 3 months or so. Then we brought the baby out, everything. And then the baby became well. Oh, everything was normal and everything. And then a year later or 2 years later, my wife got pregnant again. I was excited, very happy. My second born. Okwawa, 6 months, 3 weeks. Again, I said, honey, what's wrong with your womb? What's wrong with your womb? Affliction, shall not come to us a second time. But it came to us a second time. And this time it was 1.4 kilos smaller.
Now that is like 3 pounds. You can imagine him going through it the first time, and then the second time he's thinking, now this time God will do it, and then that happens. What will you do as a Christian? Because you've been praying, and he's a pastor, so you can imagine his frustrations.
Tiny. I was very depressed. I was very grieved. I was very sorrowful. And this one, he stayed in the incubator for like 4 months. Came out. It took my son 3 years to walk. It took him 10 years to read. He was always last at the class. Anytime he's in school, his thumb is in his mouth. I want my mommy. So I will call my wife from the bank. Honey, come. The boy is crying. The gap between his ear and his nose didn't form well. So he had a discharge in the ears all the time. And he was in pain all the time. He was permanently in pain. We don't sleep in the house. He was always crying. He won't go to school. He was always last. I said, I have to still preach every Sunday. I have to go to church. I have to do missions. I remember when I brought my second born to the house, that same we were at the Obuasi crusade. The team has left. So I went to Kolibu, brought them to the house, and left for Obuasi the same day because I was the preacher. And left for Obuasi missions. You see Obuasi were here? And when I was leaving, my wife was crying because she was carrying the baby, and I was leaving there. After they've come from the hospital, I went to the hospital with somebody's car, and I brought them home. And the car that was to take to Obuasi was already parked outside. I said, honey, I have to do missions. You know that I'm the preacher. So stay here. This is my mother. Everything you did is here. So I'm going. My wife was crying, carrying our small baby, suffering. And I went to enjoy because that time Stanley was the missions director. He has already gone ahead and come and said, am I coming? Because I'm the one preaching the night. We drove all the way to Obuasi. When I got to Obuasi, I went to my retreat. I was the evangelist. I was on the platform preaching. When I had brought my small baby back to the house, it was nowhere. And healing the sick, casting out devils, and prophesying to people. We hear testimonies. Anguish, sorrow, pain, stress, affliction. It's all part of the calling. Say amen. Helen, this my boy was the last in his class. So I stopped looking at his report because I know what was in the report. It's last. And whenever I travel abroad, I buy them toys. Police car, whatever car. So this time I bought them a flying aeroplane with a remote. So my son was playing with the aeroplane. Then he dropped the aeroplane and came to me. Daddy. I said, yeah, I want to be a pilot. I said, really? Go and play with the toy like that. You're far away from being a pilot. Piloting, they want people like this. You. When he has a party and they put a candle, they say, happy birthday to you. Elon, blow your candle. He'll be standing there. Then his friends will blow the candle for him. Because his brain doesn't register information well. So he is slow in processing his information. When you say, Elon, there's a water bottle in the hall. Elon, go and bring it. Then he will come. I can't find it. I said, but the thing is sitting there. I didn't see it. When they are doing musical chairs, the music will stop. My son will still be dancing. And all the seats are taken. So when he's looking for the seat, all the seats are taken. They say, you are out. You start crying and sack everybody from the house. He couldn't process information because of the way he was born. So I said to myself, just go through the school and know how to write your name and write English. He went to a high school, whatever, and then they were asking everybody, what do you want to do? This one, I want to be a lawyer. This one, I want to be a doctor. This one, I want to be an engineer. Then they came to my son, what do you want to do? He said, I want to be a pilot. The class laughed at him. Then the teachers, 3 of them, I can remember clearly, they came to my office here to tell me that they want to see me. I said, okay. They said, about your son. I said, yeah, what about my son? Your son, his brain is slow. I said, I know that. Are you coming to remind me that my son is slow? I know my son is slow. He's always last in class. What's your problem? And they say he wants to be a pilot. Yeah, he's daydreaming. So what's your problem? He said, we want to discourage him from becoming a pilot. I said, yeah, there's no need. Just let the boy go through school. There's nothing we can do. Then when they left, then a voice spoke to me. But with God, nothing shall be impossible. Hey! But with God, nothing shall be impossible. Came home, called my son, laid hands on him. But with God, nothing shall be impossible. But with God, nothing shall be. I say, Elo, you shall become a pilot. I started laying hands on him. I've lost the number of times I've laid hands on my son. Then his grades started changing. His brain started working. He started whatever. He applied for a piloting school in Dubai. He passed the exams. They sent him there for interview. They asked him 350 questions about himself. He scored 90%. They took him in the piloting school. He came back. When they stayed there, there were 182 students. Only 4 came out as pilot. My son was one of the 4. From a premature child. Oh, are you listening to me? I said, no matter your challenges, you are also called. No matter your challenges, you are also called. This my son went to the UK, finished, went to the US. This coming month, September, October, he is now will be qualified as a commercial pilot. From zero, from the bottom. Not even knowing how to blow a candle. You know, one day he was talking. I said, oh, this is your friend. I don't see him around again. So daddy is too slow. I said, you are calling somebody too slow? Now his brain is like this.
Wow, what an amazing testimony. I mean, if that testimony has not touched your heart, I don't know what can touch your heart. So many people are going through issues in life and they feel that it cannot change. But this testimony proves that with perseverance and persistency and believing that God is able, anything can change. There's nothing impossible with our God. Now I want to bring to you the testimony of the son who was at the bottom, the son who was very slow, and the son who became the pilot. Now listen to him and see him talk.
So I was born 6 months, 3 weeks, and well, obviously nobody knows what nobody knows what you are thinking when you are young. And growing up has been very challenging. But my father has been praying for me. I really thank God for his life. So, being born 6 months, 3 weeks, it was very challenging when it comes to schooling. You know, when you have your son or your daughter and they are born premature, their brain doesn't really form too well. And that's the challenging part, because going through school, you have friends who are very, very, let me put the word, very smart, very intelligent. And here am I in class failing exams. You know, sometimes you don't even know what you're going through based on your daily life. So you're going through school on a daily basis, and it's more or less like you're going through challenges with your academics. Until I was of age, I think I was around 5 years old, and I told my father that I wanted to be a pilot. And that was because he bought me 8 toys. I thank God for my father, because those 8 toys defined what exactly I am doing today. So he got me a fighter jet, he got me a helicopter, he got me a fire service, he got me so many toys, up to the 8 toys. All these toys were supposed to define what exactly I wanted to do. So going through my childhood, I really didn't know exactly what I wanted to do, but I destroyed all the toys and I kept a plane for 10 years. So in having these 8 toys, I think I was around age 5, 6, towards 7 years old, and I told my father that I want to be a pilot. But then all my academics, I was failing exams, I wasn't doing well in my tests. I was failing exams so much that the teachers were telling me I can go ahead without even passing the exams. And failing all these exams, I got to a point where I actually didn't want to go to school anymore because of how the teachers were treating me. It was like I was not even part of a set of or a group of people who were smart enough to do certain courses in life. So I got to a point where my father said to me, he knows what I'm going through, but you don't understand what you are going through. God knows what you are going through, but you don't know what you are going through. So I thank God for my father, because in praying all these years, anointing me all these years, talking positive things in my life, having a positive mother, and praying for your children, make sure that whatever they are going through, they don't understand it, but they understand it, and they are there for them. I mean, I had teachers who told me, your son doesn't have the brain to do what he's doing. During my last high school exam, before I passed the exams, the director of the school gathered 6 men and came to my father's office and told my father that the exams I'm going to do, which is science, your son doesn't have the brain to do what he wants to do. All these years until this point, we are feeding our children with negativity. We don't understand where they are going in life. But I am praying that parents should speak into the children's lives. So my father speaking all these years and praying for me all these years, bring positive things into my life, telling me that I can still do what I want to do. My father prayed for me, and I've gotten to the stage where I could actually do it. I got the books, got the simulations, and I discarded all the people who actually have negative stuff against me. And I started to live for myself. I want to live on what somebody is saying. Today I'm an airline pilot. Nobody knew I could do it, but I thank God that I've come this far, and I thank everybody who has been positive around me, and I pray that parents here will take their children seriously. Please act in kindness and speak well on your children.
So I hope this testimony hasn't greatly encouraged you. Just remember, never give up on God. Just keep fighting the fight and keep moving forward. Never look back. Just keep going forward. God's got you. Never forget that.
And also, nothing is impossible with God. Thank you for watching.